Welcome and thank you for listening to the Muses of the Crystal Lotus.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Muses of the Crystal Lotus. We are going to be touching on Christmas things. We hope that your Thanksgiving was wonderful.
Yummy tummies.
Hope you didn't eat too much, make yourself sick.
Or as Tennille says, gobble till you wobble. Is that what she said?
Tennille says gobble till you wobble. Yeah. We call it gobble and groan at my house.
Call it nap time.
Nap time. Definitely nap time.
Turn on the football and it's nap time.
Yeah.
So now we're moving into Christmas season and Yule season, winter solstice, the 21st. And we wanted to talk a little bit about Christmas and gift giving and things like that. So I'm Shauna, this is Jeannie, Stephanie, and we're going to give you some pointers in different areas.
She's back.
She's back.
And Jeannie hasn't been in an episode for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, no.
So we're glad to have her back.
We missed
How's
her.
life?
Much better.
Much better?
Much better.
Good.
Does that mean you finally got your house cleaned and your bathtub working?
Bathtubs make everything much better.
Bathtubs make a lot better. But my bathtub's fine. The shower needs some work.
Listen.
I have a wonderful bathtub I never use.
I'm so mad. My bathtub had the little drain thing at the bottom leaks. So, like, I'll run me a bath of water. And, of course, the emergency stopper, I can't run above it because it's automatically going to drain out. I do it anyways because, it prolongs the life of the bath. But after it runs out, then the bottom drain drains. And I'm in there maybe about 10 minutes and I have no water anymore. And it sucks. I love baths, but it sucks. So I told David we are investing in a claw bathtub. I don't care if it has to go on the back deck. I want one of the ones with the claw feet that come up and you can soak up to here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Comfortably.
Here's a little suggestion for your draining.
Yeah.
They do make a little cup type thing that you put over the drain. It's bigger than the drain. Mm-hmm. You put it over the drain and you push down on the little button and it forms a suction.
Hey baby, Christmas is coming up. But I have seen the ones that go over the emergency stopper too. That's like a little suction cup, I guess, and it's like yay big, and it goes over, and you can somehow seal it down. This goes over
the drain, and you push the little handle button thing on it, and let it up, and it just adheres to the tub, so you don't have leakies.
Well,
I think you can get them at Dollar Tree for like $1.
That's what I need because I can't enjoy bathtubs like everyone else can. It makes me upset because bath time is, you put the candles on, you brew a cup of tea, you've got your music. Usually it's some kind of soft native flute or some kind of, meditation music. And I have this tray. He bought me this for Christmas actually last year is a wooden shelf tray that either sits in the bathtub or it's got legs underneath of it so I can put it in bed too. And I love it. I can't use it because I can't stay in a bathtub for like 15 minutes. He also got me this little spa thing. I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but it's like this jet that you're supposed to be able to take and stick in a normal bathtub and suction it to the wall and plug it in over yonder. And it'll make your water like spa water. When I first opened it, I was like, "Are you trying to kill me?" And he's
divorced by electrocution. Right?
What are you talking about? I was like, "You're gonna make me stick something in my bathtub that I have to plug into an outlet no more than 2 feet away? I don't like the way this feels." Never used it. I'm afraid of it. And I know that's what it's made for, but I'm absolutely petrified of it. There's little things that, everybody's got those little quirks, and that's one of mine is just I don't want to be electrocuted in the bathtub.
Keep the electric away from the bath.
Right. But I don't get to typically enjoy all of that spa-ness.
Well, if you want spa-ness, get a hot tub.
My last bath, I had rose
Christmas
petals
is coming, David.
and chamomile and lavender in my water.
So do you...
The actual herbs.
I was going to say, do you, like, let the herbs flow loosely in your water? Okay.
Yes.
So I did that once with lavender. And that's hard to clean up if you've never done it before. And
that's why you get a little strainer you put over the drain, and most of it goes into the strainer, and you just have to wipe out the tub.
Well, just in my experience previously, wet lavender in the bathtub looks like mouse turds. And when you leave any behind, and your husband doesn't know what they are, they look like mouse turds.
And he starts putting mouse traps in the bathtub?
Yeah. I mean, mouse traps in the bathroom. I mean, that's what they look like. You know, they don't hold their color once they get wet.
That's why I prefer essential oils.
No, I do love some essential oils in my bathtub.
Put essential oil in, and then you don't have all that nasty cleanup.
But I always see the pictures on Instagram. Have you ever seen the pictures on social media, Pinterest, Instagram, where it's the bathtubs and they've got all the beautiful full flowers floating around everywhere and the candles galore, and you know, I'm just sitting there going like, I want.
Okay, well, this is where you put David's woodworking skills to work. And you have him build you just a little thing in the front part of the bathtub, that door. And then you have a whole shelf to line things up on right there. It's right here.
I hope he's watching
I'm
this
so
episode.
sorry, David.
I hope he's watching. I really do. Like, I'm going to make sure to send this one to him. Babe, you need to watch. Please.
My husband is sitting at home right now going, I don't have to worry about that because there's no room between the tub and the toilet to do that.
Yeah.
Frank is a wonderful person who absolutely gets worn out with me and my ideas.
With her woodworking ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bunch of them.
It's not just woodworking ideas.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, let's dig up the backyard and do a hardscape out there. We have a nice big swing and some Adirondack chairs. And we already have the big pit barbecue that he built a few years ago. But I think that could double if you take the rack out. That could double as just a fire pit.
Yeah.
You know, for a campfire type thing. And it's right up on the hill where we can look up the river. And
Yeah.
And he keeps looking at me and he goes, sure, honey. And we're back to the whole, when we built the log house.
Oh, yeah. We've been in the log cabin phase for a long time.
We've been in the log cabin phase since we met.
Yeah.
And we kept saying we were going to build a log cabin up on a hill. And I got excited. And I figured, okay, I want this in it. And I started buying log cabin books and picking out cabinets and structural design and all this other kind of stuff. And then I started realizing after, I don't know, I'm a little dense, 10, 15 years, I would say, I would love to have this in the log house. And he'd go, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, put it on the list. We still don't have a log house. We've been together 34 years. We still don't have a log house.
It's not too late. It's not too late. We like, you know.
Well, I did scale back. I said, why don't we just take the house we've got and put log siding on it?
There you go. Yeah. There's something about log cabins, though, you know.
Well, we're getting to an age, though, where we don't like the steps much anymore, or they don't like us. So now he's talking about building a ranch-style extension on the back side of the house, leaving the front side of the house for guests or garage or whatever.
Yeah. Well, Frank, Christmas is coming up.
Frank's going to hear that and go, I'm not one of those people that spends a lot of money on Christmas.
Yeah. And I think that's a very interesting thing that you brought up, because that's our topic of conversation today.
It is.
Is how we can, what are some things that we can do for Christmas that doesn't involve a lot of money? because this year's been one of those really weird years. And
It's been bad for everybody.
money's a little tight, and we tend to get into that mindset that the presents that we purchase equals the love that we have for whoever we're purchasing it.
That's not true, because love is there all year round, and if they don't know that you love them, make them something. Put your time and energy into making something beautiful for somebody. Crochet an Afghan, or paint a beautiful picture of something that they like. Make them a big box of cookies, or
I don't know how to crochet.
peanut brittle or something.
that.
I don't know how to paint.
I can help with that.
I spent 1 year, everybody got Afghans 1 year from me.
Like blankets.
Yeah, the crocheted Afghan that you can throw over the couch, just a little throw thing, and little pillow to go with it, with the same pattern on the pillow. And then I went to, because we ended up with so many more people in the family, doing slippers, making crocheted slippers.
How long does it take you to crochet a blanket?
It depends.
Depends on the pattern. If I'm doing the picture frame thing, you do the whole thing in a block pattern. It's just open weave. And then you take your contrast color and you go around and you do like a ruffle or a flat stitch over top of that to make picture frames.
All of these terms are over my head. Now, you were crocheting something last year for a Christmas gift, weren't you? Like a scarf
knitting.
or knitting. Okay.
I don't like knitting, it's too slow.
I just remember needles and thread, or yarn. Not thread, yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you would sit there and you would do your little thing. So what are you doing? Making stuff.
Well, I would sew little dolls and things, just cut out like Amish style dolls.
Mm-hmm.
And sew them together and stuff them and make a little outfit to put on them. And, no face. You
Right.
don't need the expression. The doll is just for hugging on. And give those to the little girls. And
My brain went to, I'm going to put the little E beside the video this time. Have you ever seen those Damn It dolls?
damn it, dolls.
It's like a doll and it has no face on it or anything. It's just like a little, like you described. And it comes with a little poem, and I can't remember the poem, but it's like whenever you're mad or angry or whatever, just pick up your doll and slam it down and just yell, damn it, Essentially, my grandmother had that little poem and that little doll in her home.
That poor little doll.
It was just, it was just the cutest little thing ever. It's one of those, I guess, that was, it was an old poem. And I remember the poem itself was on the paper that you can tell had been worn throughout the years. It wasn't white anymore. It was brown, and it had the typewriter font on it. And it had that little poem in typewriter, and that's what I can remember from it. But, that's one thing my mama had was a typewriter, and I used to play on that thing all the time. It was so neat.
Tap, tap, tap.
Tap, 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 tap. And then there was like the little, yeah. It's the little things.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember those kind of
Easily
typewriters.
amused.
Yeah, that's what I learned to type on, was when those old typewriters ding.
Had the little keys that stood up this high.
Yeah. I'm
Or
easily amused.
was in the older typewriters, the ones that had the keys in an angle that went this way.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, those were the older ones.
Much older.
I love antique things like that, though. They're considered antique now. We got computers, But I love those things. Like, if I could go back to typing on a typewriter, totally.
A lot of people have gotten to a point that they don't have a typewriter, they don't have a PC, they don't have a laptop, they have a smartphone.
Well, these things are computers in your hand.
Everything is done on the smartphone now. And it's so sad because for me, I play games on my phone, okay? So I can't really do work on my phone. because if I finish a document or something that I'm working on, it's like, ooh, I get to play this now. So I need to have that office stability of having the PC in front of me to actually get work done. And I don't understand. I mean, I know the younger generation, and you guys are included in that, but you grew up with the cell phones. And nowadays, people, they're buying their 5 and 6-year-old
Yeah, I
cell
know.
phones. So by the time they're 10 or 12, they're experts on
Yeah.
these things. I still have to look at the book, and I've had this particular phone for, I don't know, 6 years.
So I got my first cell phone when I was 15, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those Virgin Mobile phones where you had to pay for texting and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like to say that I got the best of both worlds because I grew up without things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to merge into it still at that young age where I was able to pick it up relatively easy.
Mm-hmm.
But sometime between 21 and 30, technology's left me because now there's a lot of things that I don't know how to do. Facebook included.
My biggest thing with you and the cell phone is I can barely text. And I look at you, and you're sitting there with those nails, and you're just like...
Thumbs are going like 90 miles a minute right there.
And I have had people actually ask me, are you still there? Because I'm texting, and it's like...
Yeah. I remember back in the day when texting from my phone was hitting the number 3 times to get to the S. 1, 2, 3 S, and then 1, 2 E, and then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Wow, how things have changed.
Really changed, and now you can even put it on record, and you can speak what you say, and it changes it over to text.
Yes, I do that a lot. It's a lot more convenient for me sometimes to just hold up.
Well, as soon as I figure out how to do that on my new phone, I will probably use that because it's faster.
Maybe. I don't know. You're an Android, and I'm not an Android. I'm an iPhone. So I might be able to show you how to do it. Can't guarantee.
Well, my new one, which is the Samsung Galaxy, is also an Android. But I'm still trying to figure out how I can get all of my information off my old one, which is a Nexus, onto the new one. So until I figure that particular part out, I'm not going to worry about the rest of it.
So what's some things that you've made for Christmas for people?
I have made, one year there was scarves. Everybody got scarves. I made socks, knitted socks for my brothers in their favorite sports team colors. And my middle brother, he loved his so much that he wore his at every game. They always wore his lucky socks. And the following Christmas, he's like, could you please fix my socks? He wore holes in the toes and the heel.
Oh my gosh.
He wore them so much. And so that following Christmas, for Christmas, I fixed his socks.
That's so cute.
So, and I've done the hats, the toboggans, beanies, whatever you want to call them. We called them toboggans. So, but also, one year I did my mother's applesauce cake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I put all the dry ingredients into a mason jar.
Mhm.
And then just took a piece of wrapping paper and put over and screwed the lid down over top of it.
Right.
And with a little note of instructions on the wet ingredients that you had to add to it and what to bake it at.
That's a good idea.
Also done that with hot chocolate.
That's a good idea.
I used to do the hard candy in mason jars.
Yeah.
Peppermint and wintergreen and all the different
Mom
flavors of Christmas.
Mom loves to make cinnamon. That's the one that we always enjoyed, was the cinnamon hard candies. And I'd say, to me, Christmas isn't Christmas in our household until we do certain things as a family. Not so much the gift giving aspect or making gifts, but the events, you know. So like one of the things that we used to always do, and I think we haven't done it for maybe the past year or two, but I'd love to really get back into it this year, hopefully, is we would make Christmas goodies, me and Mom, for everyone. I mean, we'd give it to the postman, we'd give it to the trash guys, we'd give it to, you know, bosses or friends and family, and just share Christmas goodies. So we would do Chex Mix, we would do fudge, peanut butter fudge. Mom makes a really good peanut butter fudge. I've never been able to duplicate it. The hard candy. One year we did that, I don't know what you call it, like the Christmas crack or whatever, where it's got the different white chocolate pretzels and stuff thrown in it. And so we would just baggie those up in individual little Christmas bags or containers, and we'd give those out to the people that typically don't receive gifts from just the community. They do a lot of community work, but they don't get a thank you for it.
And firefighters, police officers.
Yeah, David, where he was a police
EMTs.
officer, we would take some down there, and he would share it with everyone, you know. So I really
I think we ought to do
enjoyed
that
that.
as a shop thing.
ooh
Put together just some nice little snackies or whatever, and take them down to the fire department and the police station. And
I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
And they're right down the road, so
Yeah.
you know,
They work really hard,
they do.
They do.
and we love our fire department and our police. They're awesome people. They are not the kind of people that are going to go, oh, yeah, that's interesting, and walk on. They check things out. They take care of the community.
And actually check up on the community.
Yes.
We have a good community here in St. Albans, and that's one thing that, you know, we may not be a shopping hotspot. It's growing. Old Main is growing. I mean, Old Main's really taken off in the past 2 years alone.
Oh, yeah.
But beyond that, the community feel here is just worth it in general. You know, I love being
It's because
St.
people are
Albans.
still neighbors. They check on each other. They make sure you got what you need if there's a problem.
It's that Mayberry vibe.
Kind of.
Oh, you know what
You
I
walk
miss
down the
is the
street
Mayberry
and you get,
restaurant.
hey, you know.
Isn't that what it was called? Was
The
Mayberry
Mayberry.
down there by where Kmart is?
Oh, the restaurant. Yeah.
And they went out of business, and that
Yes.
was so sad. But that was you walk in, and it literally was like Mayberry vibe. You know, they made it that way, and that was a cute little place. But yeah, I mean, all of the businesses in Old Main, you know, we talk to each other, we help each other when we can.
Promote each other.
We do. You know, Grounded is actually wholesaling to Coal River Coffee now. So
Coal
you go
River
in.
Coffee, and I'm going to put it out there, and I probably shouldn't. Shout out to Coal River. They have got the best chicken salad in the world. And they were selling it as, you know, like in a little cup with these awesome crackers, or as a sandwich. But now certain people, who'll go unnamed, have eaten so much of it they're selling it by the quart now. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's my go-to staple.
I mean, it's
So good.
delicious, and they hand make it every day, fresh. So they're phenomenal, you know, and we just do what we can to help each other out. And, you know, they were wholesaling tea from another company in West Virginia, which is still keeping it local. But when they found out that there's a company right down the road in the same community, they were like, we want to keep it local. And so that's been a real blessing for me. In Grounded, it's been a real achievement this year, is to be able to work with local community businesses. So super excited. But
Well,
so
if
yeah,
there's
it's a good
anybody
idea.
out there that actually grows herbs locally and sells them wholesale, please contact us at Crystal Lotus Shop,
Yes, please do.
because my garden's not going to be ready for a while, and we're always looking for local suppliers.
I'm not
for
ready to
things.
get into the agricultural side of growing herbs right now. That's a whole different business adventure. But I would love to be able to source a lot of the herbs that I use in my teas from a local farmer. So that's, if anybody watching this knows anybody that grows herbs and sells them wholesale. I know there's a place in West Virginia that does lavender farm.
I actually have that person's information inside.
I'd love to be able to incorporate West
but
Virginia
they're
herbs.
mostly doing, they're not selling the actual herb. They're selling products made with it.
Are they?
Like salves and things like that, baths. But we're wanting the herb.
But that's another thing, now that you bring that up, of homemade gifts that you can give.
Yeah.
Is homemade salves and body lotions and herbal things, you know. And I did a lot of herbal medicine classes before that taught people how to make salves and creams and lotions and soaps. And so once you get into that adventure, you know, of making things, that's just another one of those things you can make to give to somebody. And once you learn how to make them clean, it is relatively more affordable too. You know,
And gift baskets are always nice.
yes,
Make you know, either make your own or you can buy them at reasonable prices. But get you some candy, put it in there. Get you some bath products, put it in there. Some candles, things like that, and just do a little gift basket.
Yep.
And depending on where you're buying your stuff, you can do a lovely gift basket that'll last them for a couple of months at least. And it'll only cost you maybe $10, $15. And if you get really elaborate or you're shopping at some place that's a little more expensive, it can go up to $50 or $60. But if you're making yourself, you're cutting that down to the cost of the product that you're putting into it. You know, because time is always love.
Yep, that's definitely true. You know,
People like gift baskets.
I've given teas for gifts before because that's you know, something that I make. You know,
You know what? We've done divination baskets with, you know, and like beginners thing with an altar cloth and some candles and candle holders and a tarot deck and a pendulum and just different things, and maybe a gift certificate for a class. And those go really well.
Your gift
because-
certificates were going pretty good too. You
Yeah.
know, giving the gift of like massage or Reiki to someone who
Or services
really needs
with
it.
Dr. Stevie, almost.
Soon to be.
Soon to be. Services with creative expression. You know, gift certificates are great because if you don't know what to get somebody and you're on a limited budget, you get them what you can, and they choose what they want.
You know, I actually prefer gift certificates sometimes because then I get to put it where I want it to go versus gifts that maybe not as resourceful, I guess. I've got this terrible habit of taking gift certificates and using them, say, like for buying mason jars for my apothecary or you know, things that would be useful to me in my business adventures. You know, and when people shop for Christmas, supplying business things is not something that comes to mind, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I'll take gift certificates and I'll put them towards business purchases because it helps on those little things, you know. It really does.
Yeah, and just a heads up, we're still looking into getting Crystal Lotus shop credit cards too.
Oh,
So-
she announced it.
In-house credit cards. So, not there yet. Don't jump on it.
So what else can you make for Christmas? What else is
You were talking about doing family things.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I remember growing up, I came from a family of 9 kids. We would build gingerbread houses.
Oh, I love building
Mom would
gingerbread
make the gingerbread
houses.
sheets and cut them,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd do everything else. Just put gingerbread houses together. And I remember one year, God, I don't even remember how old I was. She actually set the houses up on the table and put little fake trees around it and made this
Made a
whole little village as part of the decorations for Christmas.
Aw,
And
yeah.
it was really cool.
Every year at church when I was growing up, Bible school would have gingerbread making. And that was just so much fun to go in and make gingerbread houses. And I don't think I've made a gingerbread house since I was little in Bible school.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to make gingerbread houses again. But speaking of the little village thing, my aunt gifted me some of those, those porcelain houses that you can create, those little towns that light up. And so I think they were my mama's. And I've got a very special, I keep family things, they're very special to me. So every year I'll set up my little Christmas village on my grandmother's old record player that I have. And, it's just something that I like to do. The other day, my brother brought his girlfriend down to the house. And it's the first time I've met her, first time she's ever been in my home. And he was showing her my herb shelf. My sister's into these really cool herbs, and he was showing her my rabbit and my garden. And, he was just excited to show her things that I guess I didn't realize mattered to him, but they do. And one of the things he'd brought up, and I'm welting up here with was Christmas at my home. And, that we have this big family dinner, and my sister decorates everything all nice and beautiful, and she's got always the real tree, and she has this little village, and she sets it up right here, and it's so cool, and it lights up, and all these little porcelain houses and stuff, and I'm sitting there going oh, he really enjoys Christmas at my house, and it's one of those unspoken things that you don't really know.
Yeah,
that right there is a gift.
Oh my gosh, I tell you, as you can see, I'm really emotional about it, but I just didn't know that he enjoyed it as much as he does until we talked about it, and so it's going to be one of those things that I have to do every year now. I have to maintain because people enjoy it.
I have a funny story about Christmas. And this is decades ago when my great-grandma and grandpa were still alive. And we had this old Victorian house up in New York. And my grandma said she wanted a big tree to put in it, 10-foot ceilings. And he brought home a 14-foot tree. And she said, now, this is not going to fit. This is not going to fit, so you have to figure out how it's going to fit. Yeah. He cut about so much off the top of the tree, set the rest of it up, took the top upstairs and set it over top of where the tree was sitting.
So it looks like it goes through the floor?
Yeah.
Aww.
I was young. I don't remember this. My mom told me this story, but I'm thinking to myself, if I was my great-grandmother, I probably would have killed him. Because where the tree was
so
downstairs, upstairs was in the middle of the bedroom.
Oh, that sounds so adorable.
Oh gosh, I love it.
But we used to make decorations for the tree too,
Oh yeah.
and that was
Stringing
part of
popcorn.
Did you
part of the
string
family
popcorn?
thing.
I've never done that.
We did popcorn and cranberries. I remember we had days where we would do the macaroni stuff.
Yep.
And we tried, because we were idiots, we were kids, we tried to take those little bitty macaronis and glue them together to make little round ornaments. We made the biggest mess. But, a little tiny piece of wood or cardboard, and you just do a little decoration on it and paint it. They're so cute.
Oh, handmade ornaments are an amazing gift to give.
They are.
And you can go out to Michael's. You could probably even order blank ornaments on Amazon, for really inexpensive. And then you get to paint it and design it how you want to. Put your name on it, or take the empty ones and put little things inside of it. Fill it up with little knickknacks that you remember. It's a Christmas tradition at our house that every year I get me and my husband custom-made ornaments.
Mm.
And we did it for the first 2 years that we were dating, first 2 or 3, you know. And one year when I went shopping on Black Friday, I didn't get one. And I come home and he said, "Where's my ornament?" What do you mean? I didn't get one this year. He goes, no. That's the thing. We have to have an ornament. And I was like, oh, he likes them. So I've made it the thing every year. And so last year I got to get one that said, "Happy first married Christmas." I'm so excited. But we have like Santa Claus on a motorcycle with Mrs. Claus, and you know, the 2 little bears or the 2 little penguins or the 2 little Steelers snowmen. You know, we do something different every year, but that's also one of those really inexpensive Christmas traditions that I have to have every year now.
Yeah, see, in our household, my mom would just buy the big tubes of the ornaments, usually multicolor. We'd get to pick the color we wanted. And then we would use nail polish and write our name on the ornament and the year and roll it in sprinkles.
Aww.
And every year we would hang our balls on the tree. And we started that tradition here in the shop last year, where everybody got to do the
get to
ball.
do it.
You did?
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I don't remember.
Yeah, well.
You have to show me my ball.
Oh, I'll show you both of them.
Both of them? I got 2. Oh, wait, never mind. Meow. This episode definitely gets an E beside of it. Way over my head.
We actually have 5 of them. I think Asen and Joe did. Maybe Michael, Tina, Tennille, Jeannie, me, Frank.
I don't
You
remember.
did.
I don't
I think
remember
you did
this.
one for JT too.
Yeah, JT had to have his up there. But
I
it's
don't
just
remember
tradition
this
we
at
started
all.
here. And it's just a fun thing to do that everybody gets together and can just have a little bit of fun and have a memory. Yeah. Memories. That's what it's all about. It's not about how expensive the gift is. It's not about how much money you put out for stuff. It's about the memories. And like I said before, love is in season all year round, not just during the holidays.
I'd love to see a Christmas where I'm going to say not necessarily no gifts were given, but it's not practice to go shop at a retail box chain store and purchase all kinds of things, you know, just that you do, like, for example, the 12 days of Christmas. You know, day 1 you have, you know, Coco and you watch The Grinch, and day 2 you know, make Christmas cards by hand for your family, and day 3, and you do something different every day, you know. And then when it comes to Christmas, you have so many more memories to take away from it than gifts.
What's family tradition for you? Did you have any family traditions?
We always cooked. Cooked and cooked and cooked. We have an elaborate big spread, and there's usually anywhere between 20 to 30 of us in the house. Everybody brings a dish, whatever their special dish is, which one's the mac and cheese.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
And we sit around and eat. And then for the kids, is the main part for opening gifts. I mean, yeah, the adults get gifts too, but usually it's not that many or not that big. We don't really care. We like to sit and watch the kids open stuff and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's what's special to us, is to watch the kids and to make sure that the kids have a good time.
Mine's all about spending family time, but spending family time because you want to, not because of what you think you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, you know, I've gone through several family members who had that problem.
Well, one of the most favorite gifts that I gave, I think it was 3 years ago, was to my niece and my nephew. They loved it more than anything else than they got. All I got them was a pack of bubble wrap. And they adored it. They were like, oh my gosh, it's bubble wrap.
Little kids like bubble wrap.
No, this is like a 15-year-old and a 30-year-old.
Oh, wow.
And they went running through the house, stringing out this bubble wrap, and just pop, 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 just like little kids.
Aww.
They loved it.
Well, there's an idea. See, bubble wrap's not that expensive.
Everybody loves bubble wrap.
Everybody loves bubble wrap.
You cannot resist the urge to pop.
No. It's terrible, though, when I'm using bubble wrap to wrap expensive things from the shop that needs to be wrapped. I always have to pop a bubble or two before it goes on the product.
I wait till it gets on the product.
And then pop it?
Yeah, because, you know, if you're wrapping something in it, and you tape down the little end,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the sides you bring in, what I'll do is I'll pop them all on the points of the sides that are coming in.
Yeah.
I use the excuse, okay, here's insider stuff. I use the excuse that if you pop them, the tape holds better.
I mean, you know, it's very well true. You know, you just got pop bubble wrap. That's the thing. You had an idea. Your face was lighting up prior to being asked about your Christmas traditions.
It's gone.
It's gone now.
It's gone.
Yep, that
I got on the bubble wrap thing and it's gone.
Well, I'm curious about this idea. So the discussion before that was the 12 days of Christmas and events and things you can do with your family prior to.
Okay. You were talking about the 12 days of Christmas.
Yes.
What I was thinking is make a memory book.
Oh, yes.
Just get a photo album,
Mm-hmm.
12 days of Christmas. And what you did on the first day, what you did on the second day. And everybody adds to it. And on Christmas Day, you go back and you review it all
Oh,
and talk about it.
that's a good idea.
What would be really cool is if you're doing handmade Christmas cards or something like that, is you put one of those in the memory book too.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're making little flat ornaments, put that in the, make
Mhm.
one for the book.
Well, you know, when you take pictures on your phone, because everybody's taking phone pictures nowadays,
Mhm.
you can take your phone out to Walmart and plug it into the photo machines and print off like 4x6 photos for, I think, like 50 cents each, maybe even cheaper than that. I don't even remember how much anymore. But there's also services online that you can send your photos to, and they'll make a book for you out of your photos.
It's more fun to do it family
Yeah,
time.
do it
Yeah,
family
well.
time.
Just an idea, just throwing out ideas for people, you know.
Yeah, and if you don't
Whatever's more convenient.
if you don't have the family time, make it.
Mm.
Because that's what's important.
Making family time is important.
And another thing that you can do that really doesn't cost anything except a little bit of your time. Probably this year it won't be allowed, but visiting children that are in the hospital or
I know for
visiting nursing homes, and just bring a little cheer. Even if it's nothing more than just a little sprig of holly that they can set on their nightstands.
Or handmade cards,
Handmade cards.
to the old folks' home.
Yes.
They really love those kind of things. They really
Just
do.
love is all year round.
Love.
And that means so
Christmas.
much to people that are holed up in a place where they really can't get out of.
Yep.
So
That is very
share
true.
a little of your love with your community.
That can be one
Or-
of the 12 days of Christmas is make handmade cards to deliver to the children's hospital or to a nursing home in your area.
or to someone that's homeless,
Yes.
homeless shelters, and also you have the people that live by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The elderly that live by themselves, they don't have anybody. Nobody ever comes to see them. No one does anything with them or for them. And those people really need a little bit of extra.
Let's see what
Another
we used to
thing
do.
you can do if you can get your church or your community involved in it is make up a whole bunch of handmade Christmas cards and send them overseas to our soldiers.
Yes.
Give them a little bit of home.
What we used to do is after Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, and we still have like lots of leftovers. And this was back when David still worked over in Dunbar, and so he knew the city. He knew where some of the homeless people would stay. We would make up plates of food from our leftovers, and we would drive around the city of Dunbar, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and finding those folks that David knew were homeless, and we'd give them food because we could, you know. And that's something that, you know, this time of year, food banks are struggling for food to donate to people in need. And so that's another something, you know, we're going to the grocery store, you know, we're buying our Christmas foods.
Yeah.
What is it to throw an extra 50-cent box of macaroni and cheese in your cart and go donate that?
Or a 50-cent canned good.
Yeah, and go donate that to a place that needs it.
We also have a drop-off point here at Crystal Lotus Shop. We're doing our annual food drive. All proceeds go to Christ's Kitchen. And if you bring one item, you get 1% off your purchase. If you bring 20 items, you get 20% off your purchase. Cap is at 20%. If you bring 100, you still get 20% off. But bring down little things here and there, and you're helping the community. You're helping yourself.
Now, we're doing this food drive.
Get you in that giving spirit.
All the way to Christmas, right?
Actually, we're doing the food drive through the end of the year, but we'll probably be sending stuff over there.
Every holiday.
Well, before Thanksgiving, and then before Christmas, and then, of course, after the New Year, that's when things get really tough because the weather usually turns.
Now, for some of you that are confused, we are pre-recording some of these episodes, so as we talk about Christmas, that's as when this episode is going to launch, but we have not made it to Thanksgiving yet, so in case you get confused as to some of the references we make, you know, pre-Thanksgiving, etc., based on when you're seeing this video.
That's true. Well, we did warn you in the first episode. We're kind of all over the place sometimes.
We're spread. You know, we could be stuck in January. We don't even know what.
No, we're not going to be stuck in January.
Well, I think
I want a white Christmas.
I do too. I miss snow. I love snow. I'm a snow person. I want snow up to my butt.
Not me.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get off my hill if I had snow up to my butt.
Remember the snow, was it 3-4 years ago now? That was like 3 feet. Happened on a Friday night. I was getting off work down at Loop. And I didn't have to go to work for the next 2 days, so I really didn't care. But it snowed like 3 feet. And I was snowed into the house for 3 days.
I love it.
I love it too. I miss that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 years ago I still had to come out because I had a shop to run.
Yeah, well.
People, you know, sometimes need candles and things when it snows that much.
Yes. Hey, well, the good thing is now you've got a fully functional kitchen.
Yes.
You've got a couch and a fireplace to keep you warm in case you have to stay the night here one night.
Are you kidding? Frank would be down here in a heartbeat. Get in the truck. Yeah, 4-wheel drive. We'll get home. Come on.
Yeah. Well, and I don't live on a hill, so I've got all-wheel drive, so I can at least make it to open the shop too. So.
And
I'm
want
all the snow.
I'm just right down the road, so
we want all the snow.
Yeah.
Snow, 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 snow.
One of these days you'll have to come up to my house and you can see what I deal with in the wintertime when there's snow.
I got you.
And
I got you. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you've been able to gather some ideas on how to make Christmas really special for you and your family this year. You know, it is a special time of year, and we just like to get away from the money mindset about Christmas and start really honing in on the love and the compassion and the family time that is to be had. So, and community service opportunities. I mean, granted, you don't need a holiday to really give back to your community, but as you spend that extra special time with your family, just know that there are people out there that either don't get to or don't have one and can really benefit from that extra special love and care. So, until next time.
Reach out.
Reach out.
We are on Facebook at Crystal Lotus Shop, SHOPPE. We are on Instagram at CLSWV, and our website is www.clswv.com. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel where you may be watching this video so that you can have access to all of our videos as they come out first before everyone else. And that's all.
Come by the shop.
Come by the shop and see us. We're here to talk.
89 Old Main Plaza.
We have plenty of really good tea here too.
Plenty of tea. Tea is great. Tea samples too. Yeah, every day.
Tea samples.
All right, guys. Until next time. Take
Until
care.
next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Muses of the Crystal Lotus. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Just a reminder that this podcast is for educational purposes only. This podcast is not a substitute for professional care by a doctor or other qualified medical professional. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as medical advice to treat any medical condition in either yourself or others. Consult your physician for any medical issues that you may be having. This entire disclaimer also applies to any guests or contributors to the podcast. Under no circumstances shall the Crystal Lotus Shop, any guests or contributors to the podcast, be responsible for damages arising from use of this podcast. Until next time,